Hey, we are live. All right, all right, all right. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Geoff, where our mission is to share impactful information, bring through guests that we bring in from all over the world and share their experience, strength, and hope, right? And the battle of the comeback, this thing called life, right? That thing that we get up every day and we say, okay, today is my day, and we go after it, relentlessly seeking our purpose, relentlessly trying to find out who we're really meant to be, overcoming the roadblocks and struggles that happen each and every day, right? Oh man, and then giving you empowering solutions that you can take, put into your process, put into your life's practices, right? To help you get to the next level, man. Listen, we've had so much fun here over the last year or so with all the guests that we've had and support from you folks. We want to say thank you, thank you, thank you today, right? Conversations with Geoff would not be here if not be for your support. Right, and so we've had some really great guests coming up here, scheduling coming up soon, and getting back in rotation with. Oh boy, you better get ready. You got some, like I said, some folks that are going to really kind of challenge your thinking, challenge your beliefs, encourage you beyond your wildest imagination. So you too out there, that person that knows you're meant for more, can finally move to the next level, to achieve the things that you know you're meant to achieve, that live the life that you want to live. Right. My name is Geoff TYSON, and I'm the host of Conversations with Geoff, and I'm known as the Comeback King, right? I got that name from people who have seen me like you, stay in the battle no matter what came along and always found a way to get to the other side, helping the people along the way, sharing the experiences that I've had, sharing the setbacks, the good, the bad, and the ugly, so you too can shortcut the struggles that are going to come up in your life when you're chasing your dream, right? Oh, man. So today is just going to be a Thursday chat, and it's just going to be me today. And I want to just highlight a few things that I think are really important, and I've been kind of involved in over the last few weeks. And they circulate around family, business, and the mind shift and the mind trash that we all deal with, right? And you guys know on our show we're always talking about watching and helping you gain some strength around your stinking thinking, that that conversation you're having with yourself about yourself, that you're listening to, right? That you're listening to. There's two parts to that. One is the conversation you have with yourself about yourself that you listen to nonstop, on and on and on. It reminds you of all the failures that you've had, reminds you of all the setbacks that you've had, reminds you of that you may not be good enough to achieve what it is you're after. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? That one, right? Drop it in the chat when you hear this. What is it for you? What is that message? What is that limiting belief that spins and spins and spins? So that's listening to it. That's one part. The other part is beginning to talk to yourself differently, right? I mean, because that pattern is there and it's deeply entrenched in your thinking. But now we begin to talk to ourselves. We begin to give ourselves some different perspectives on who we are. We begin to give ourselves some powerful, transformative words that help move us through the clouds and the funk and all that comes along with that stinking thinking, right? While we're in the battle of the comeback, this thing called life, taking a step each and every day towards what it is we want. Begin to tell yourself rather than I can, you say I can. Begin to believe rather than not believe. Begin to shout out and take control. Listen, you have the most important sales job that you have, that we have, that I have, is the one on yourself and what I'm telling you to do right now. So when you're looking in the mirror in the morning, when you're looking in your phone, you remind yourself, you tell yourself, I am worthy of success. Nothing will stop me from reaching my destiny. I will not be denied. You find what it is for you, but you tell yourself these things. And then begin to see a new person. That's right. Begin to see yourself at the head of the table if you're seeking a position in corporate America. I like to call it the head of the table, right? Where you make the decisions, everybody else sits around you, if that's what it is. Or you're building a business and you're scaling your business to the highest level. You're providing the service better than anybody else in your industry, right? Or in a relationship. I'm no longer a screw up in relationships. I give my all to relationships. I'm honest, open-minded, willing to do whatever it takes to make the relationship work, right? Oh, man, you pick some things in there that what you can say to yourself, because you're going to have to say it. You're going to have to do it in order to begin to recreate a new vision of yourself. So two parts, the listening and the talking, right? You guys know what I'm talking about here. So when you're looking in the mirror, what do you tell yourself? Oh, man, you're looking good today, Geoff. Little gray. That's just wisdom. Ha! Right? That's right. Whatever it is that you have to tell yourself. Embrace a new way of thinking, embrace a new way of conversation, and embrace a new way to live. Hey, and the nice thing about this, anybody out there can do what I'm talking about. So it takes away the excuse of not having money. It takes away the excuse of not having time. It takes away the excuse of I don't have the education or the relationships that we always fall into when life starts to get hard. It eliminates all that. Because anybody can do what I'm talking about. Anybody at any time can do what I'm talking about. Are you willing to do that for yourself? I think you should be if you're not. Right? I mean, think about it. You can teach your children at a young age to reverse some of those things that we as parents have said to our children that we wish we could get it back, but we can't. So it's stuck, right? And then we are creating a voice in their head, our voice in our head. And is it the voice that we want them to be hearing? Or is it the words that we want them to be thinking about that we've shared with them? Or are they the opposite? Huh? Man, look, I'll tell you, we have grandchildren, right? And so today, as an example, I have a 14-year-old beautiful granddaughter, the oldest, and she is just powerful. She's got all these things, and I was taking her to her school event that she had today, and there was a sign laying on the ground, and long story short, she didn't want me to run over the sign. I ran over the sign, and she's like, "Oh, this is my school," and all these things. Got really excited, and I don't know. And I'm like, "Man, why are you sweating the small stuff?" Or something to that effect, right? You ever say some things to your kids where you shake your head, wish you never had? Ooh-wee. Doesn't matter if they're grandchildren, right? Why are you worrying about this stuff? Blah, 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 I says, right? This is me. This is the guy's talking to you today about thinking, and all these things. And, I can't take back those words I said. And she'll be okay. But that's not how I want to be, right? Just like many of you, we don't want to be that way. Ooh, man. Anyway, so let me get back to what I wanted to talk about in family, right? Because I wrote down, I had a great time this past weekend. I think it was this past weekend. Time is flying. Well, my wife, her family, they host a family reunion, and there's 3 different groups of families that kind of each one rotates every year. So they actually have a family reunion every year, man. It's amazing, right? I mean, it's been since I've known her, they've been having these reunions, and just the families come together, right? And everybody, it's a struggle to make it all happen, but when it comes together, it's beautiful. And they sing this song, right, at the end of the song, and at the end of the reunion, or at a banquet, actually, not the end, but they sing this song, and it's called Family Reunion. I believe it's a real song. And it just goes through a host of words and thoughts. It takes you down the journey of the family and the reunion, and then people that are gone, people that we love and miss, and people that are here, and the gifts about family. It's a beautiful song, man. And we're standing in this circle, and there's, I don't know, maybe 100 people in this circle, and everybody's swaying side to side, singing the song, thinking about whatever we're thinking about. The loved ones, the ones that are missing, and the tears rolling down. And I don't think there's a dry eye in the house when we do this thing, right? A big circle, 100 people swaying. It's a family reunion, singing that song. And it just, man, all kinds of emotions, right? So just reminding me how important the community is, reminding me of how important it is to be an example in the family. It reminds me of how important it is, man, that we have the young to continue to feed the young that are our next generation, right? Our legacy bound folks, right? So I challenge you today, how much time are you spending with family? How much time are you reaching out to family? And look, I get it. Family can be a pain in the ass. Can be difficult sometimes. I get that. But man, I'm telling you something. Those experiences that I just shared with you, though, and being in that circle, being in all that love, that's what really matters. And when the youngsters are looking at you and they're looking with sparkles in their eyes, and right, it's you being the example, right, the pop, our family, and how are we? Are we leaving the right example? Are we spreading the right message in their minds? Are we giving them things at night that inspire them when they lay down so their head goes to sleep and they hear our voice and it's encouraging so they have a smile on the inside? And when they wake up the next morning, are we pouring into them, or are we taking everything away from them because we're busy, or we got too much to do, or all this stuff, or you're mad at your spouse, or you're mad at the boss, or whatever you're mad at, and then we take it out on our kids. And then they take that voice into school with them. Or if they're married, they take it back into their family. What voice are we leaving with them? What message are we leaving with them, man? Anyway, you get the point, right? So family and unity. And I want to say this before I leave, because this is really important. Parents, are you preparing your kids for school? Are you really, really in tune with the worries that they have? Are you in tune with the pressures that they're getting ready to face? Are you in tune with all the thinking that's going on in their mind about school? Or are you too busy to sit down with them and ask and listen, right? Because man, the beautiful part about our grandchildren is that it keeps me in touch with what's going on in this space I'm talking to you about. And our daughter's a teacher, and she, is actively involved in all these things. And I just sit back and think about when I was a kid, right? And some things are still the same from a long, long time ago. When I was a kid, some things are still the same. The bullies are still the bullies. It's still important to fit in. It's still important to feel like you belong, right? And when you don't have that confusion, right, to get some clarity on it, then there was no internet back then. So, I just had to get with my buddies where I'm at and learn all these stupid habits and all these self-debilitating thoughts and all that. But today, parents, your kids have access to everything. Whether you block them or not, they have access to everything. If they have a friend, they have access to everything. And if they don't have a friend that has a friend that has something that has a friend, they'll find it. So don't fool yourself. You better get busy understanding what's happening. I'm trying to tell you, because bullying is for real. Kids are scared for real. Drugs and sex are really, really happening at a much earlier age than when I went to school. Although I wasn't a bad boy. I was just curious. I started a little early. Right? So anyway, parents, talk to your kids. Find the time, however you can do it. I mean, we were working on it as a family to do a Sunday dinner. Our daughter's family and my wife and I, and it's inconsistent, but we're working towards that on a Sunday when we sit down and we begin something. Right? Find the time, make it happen. Don't be making excuses about it, and don't give your kids just what's left over. Do not do that. Don't give your spouse what's left over, and most importantly, don't give yourself what's left over in you. Anyway, oh boy, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get through all the rest of this stuff. Time's just a moving, man. But I want you to hear me. Put it in the chat. And sorry, I'm on my phone right now. I'm not in my spot, so I don't know how to really check the chats and all that. So drop me some love anyway. I'll get with them afterwards. And please, 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 please understand this. Families is the key, right? All right, so get away from family, and we talked about that. The next thing is business. I've had the opportunity here lately to really talk to some really high-level folks in leadership, and there's some common things that are coming back to me, and it reminds me of the day when I was in corporate America and operations and managing millions of dollars in revenue and all of that, and these people and all these flows, and it was always about developing staff. It was always about communicating with the customers. It was always about how we can provide the best service possible, right? But then there's this other piece that we don't talk a lot about, or I don't hear a lot about, and that's how do you develop your staff? Do you have leaders that your staff reports to that really don't have the skills to develop that individual because maybe you haven't developed that individual? Do you have leaders in leadership positions that are good at what they were doing before, but are terrible leaders? They don't understand the power and impact of developing people. They don't understand the power and impact of not developing people. They don't have the gift. They don't have the skills. And then they may be in charge of lots of people in your group. I don't know how large your company is. It could be millions of dollars, even billions of dollars. This problem exists where we have leaders in position that were good at something else. They got promoted to leadership, and they never got trained how to do that. And now they are responsible for all these people's lives, and they're not getting developed. You know, man. And now you better get with that, because look, you know, the COVID shuffle is still real. People are still looking for options. Even the good ones are still looking for options to do something different in their lives. So you better get your act together and listen to me when I'm talking to you about this, because it's a real factor, right? I don't care what professional level you are in leadership. If you're responsible for individuals, then it's your responsibility, number one, to make sure that you're getting the leadership that you need, the information and direction that you need to know how you can advance to the next level. If there is an opportunity for you to advance to the next level. And if there is, how do you get there? And if it isn't, what options do you have in other parts of the company that maybe fit your skills that you can continue to advance? That's your responsibility, right? You have to learn how to manage upwardly. You have to learn how to communicate in ways in which your name comes up in conversations. When opportunities exist, your name has come up because you've built relationships with people that know that you have the desire, number one, you have the ability, number two, and you will do whatever it takes once you get an opportunity to do the best at it, right? Man, anyway. So back to leadership. Are you really in a role that fits you? And if you're not, are you willing to do what's right and find somebody else, or find something else to do? Because you're responsible for the people that report to you. Yeah. So we got a whole lot of things around leadership. If anything, that anyone's got this desire to get better at this or understand more about what we're talking about, hit me up. I left my information, I believe, at the bottom of the description, and you can get a hold of me. Communication is key as a leader, and active listening with intent, right? And asking questions with intent. Don't just talk through them or talk at them or around them. Talk to them so they feel comfortable being vulnerable enough to expose what it is that they're really thinking about, so that you two then have a tool, information that you can get better together, right? If you don't create an environment where people get comfortable talking to you, you might as well forget about it, right? And what I think is called vulnerable honesty, right? Are you creating a work environment where you people have the freedom to speak freely without being judged, the freedom to speak freely without being criticized, the freedom to speak freely without being fired, right? Hey, you gotta go. You ask them a question, they tell you something, then the next day the job is gone. That happens. What kind of environment are you creating in your workforce? You leaders out there that say you want to have the best life for your people. Is it a vulnerable, safe space where they can give you the right feedback? I'm not talking about people that are obnoxious and just don't care. You know what I'm talking about, right? How are you going to get better if you don't know the truth about what's going on in your workforce and how you people really feel? Anyway, and for you entrepreneurs, look, oh man, where is it? There's a simple book out by Michael Gerber, Why Most Businesses Fail and What to Do About It. Check it out. If you don't have a mentor, find some community that provides a gathering where you can get to know people that are in the industry that you're in. Get connected. Stop being bullheaded about doing everything your way. Right? Stop thinking that you got all the answers. And hey, listen, I know how that feels, because my first business, I didn't really want a partner. I didn't feel like I needed one. I wanted to do it my way. And, you know, I did some other things. I surrounded myself with people that knew more about what I was doing than I was doing, but it was still mine. And I had success, right? But I also learned that, right? You can go, what is the saying that they say? You can go faster alone, but further together. We're in this for the long haul, for the long game. What does your game look like? What kind of community are you building? Oh, man. So many things to talk about. but I'm going to just kind of start winding this thing down with what I think is the most important part of this conversation. And it goes back to the thinking that we all are stuck with. It goes back to the thinking conversations that we're going to change now, right? You're going to go back and start to tell yourself something different about yourself. When you look in the mirror, you're going to see somebody that you want to become because of the words that you're telling yourself, because of the practices that you're telling yourself. And then you'll be willing to peel back the layers even more, right? That's the surface work. You got to get busy peeling back some layers to really make this thing work. And that's another conversation I'd love to have with you. Right, another reason for you to reach out and touch me. If you say, "Hey Geoff, man, I'm getting you. I got some stuff I know I need to get out." Hey, well, I've helped people over the last 30 years get a lot of garbage out. Right, get clear on what it is they want to do, gain the confidence, see the perspectives necessary, right, and achieve things, man. So, really simple things to do. Like I wrap this thing up by telling you this: we know what thinking really is. It's a real thing. Don't let thinking any longer hold you back. And it's I always tell you 3 simple things. Number 1, become aware of what you're talking to, what you're listening to about self, how you're seeing yourself, right? Because look, you guys already know the story. You're not going to be any higher than the way you see yourself. The ceilings that we set is because of the conversations we have with ourselves and the noise that we listen to and the things that we allow ourselves to fall into, right? So that's it. Become aware of it. And then be the disruptor, man. Stop it. I told you you're going to have the greatest sales job you have to do, the hardest sales job you have to do, the most difficult sales job you have to do is on yourself. But it's the most important one. Because if you don't do that, nothing's going to change. If you don't do that, things are going to still be the same. If you don't do that, you get the picture, right? So, that, and then begin to, I love this part. Begin to tell you, sing yourself a different song, baby. Sing, I believe I can fly. Yeah, that's right. I believe I can touch the sky, whatever that is, man. Oh, I remember sitting in my first marriage and I had a young man, my stepson, and he's a beautiful child. And, he was 12 maybe on the sidelines. We were sitting on the sidewalk and this song was out there then. And he was saying, I can do anything I want to do. I believe I can fly. And he has. He's done great things in his life. Right? So what are you telling yourself? When are you going to stop? When are you going to stop being the reason why you're in the same situation you're in? Nobody else's fault. No reason other than what we say, what we think, and what we do. And then what we think is always first. So what are you thinking about? What goes on in your head? What are you thinking about? Think and Grow Rich. It's a simple book. Right? Everything starts with a thought. So what is your thought? And are you willing to get in the gym with that conversation? Are you willing to get in there and get busy, changing the way you see yourself, changing the way you talk to yourself, changing your life one thought at a time, one conversation at a time? And know that it's necessary for you to begin to guard your mind, right? Change the circle of influence if necessary, family members included. And know that you are worth whatever is necessary to reach the next level. But you got to do the work. No one's going to do it for you. You don't have to have permission, right? And you're going to fail at it and you're going to suck at it. So get that out and become really good at failing. Become really good at accepting. I did a conversation about accepting responsibilities. The bigger your responsibility, the bigger the problem, the greater the reward. That's it. So learn how to handle bigger problems. Be responsible for bigger things. You'll be able to make bigger decisions. Stop hiding behind whatever it is you're hiding behind. Usually it's fear. And know that you are meant for more. This thing called life is meant for you to live it to the fullest, baby. Right? This thing called life is meant for you to live it to the fullest. So as I say to you at the end of this chat, this Thursday chat, drop it in the chat where you're from and what resonates with you. And if you need more information or you like a different subject or different topic, connect with us. Share this information with your friends. Listen to it again and hit me up. And let's have a real conversation about how we can work together. If you feel like I'm the one for you. I'm not for everybody, but that's okay. But I know this for sure, that you are worthy of the things that are running around in your ear, in your spirit. That voice that keeps whispering for you, hey, yes, you can have the family you want. Hey, yes, you can start and grow this business that you want to do. You can build a community that feeds the homeless. You can provide housing for the homeless. Man, housing was in Austin, Texas. And sorry, homeless was crazy, right? Houston's crazy. Man, what are we doing in this world? We care more about protection of animals than we do people living in the streets. What is going on with that? Huh? We have young babies going to prison and jail, right? Being born in single family households, and hey, that stuff happens, but we used to have some support systems, not much anymore. So if you wonder why I keep showing up, it's about providing safety for our little brown babies and other babies, baby, that are born to these situations that they have no control over, man. Destined to end up in jail, institutions, or in the cemetery, baby, right? So that's why I'm showing up here today, so my grandbabies, babies can have a different way in this world. So let's stick together. Let's figure out what that conversation you're having with yourself about yourself is, what that stinking thinking is, right? And let's decide right now, no more. No more will I struggle by myself. No more will I walk in silence by myself. I will finish what I started because I will never quit. Quitters never win, and winners never quit. Quitters never win, and winners never quit. I'm going to say it one last time. Quitters never win, and winners never quit. Don't you quit. As long as you stay in the game, baby, you got a chance. So listen, have a great day. Oh, man. Show me what's going on in your world. And remember this, stinking thinking can be your ally, not your foe. It's up to you. All right, so as we say in here, learn how to love the battle and the comeback. And watch your stinking thinking. Talk to you on the next episode. Have a great day. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye. Oops.